music. Yeah, I'm on the move again. Right now, I'm on the eat for the win. Putting it on for the hillside. Liberian boy going in. Don't check me because I grown up. I'm hustling for my oma. Just open your ear and listen. I hotter than Arizona. I shine it like California. My love is for who will love me. This work can be so ugly. But we stand tall, all for one and one for all. And I will call you when it is time for all. I promise, I promise, I promise, I promise you. I promise, I promise you. I promise you.
Hey there, pretty people, hope you're having a good day. Never let the negativity ever get in your way. Who's that? Looking in the mirror, you're beautiful. Jersey girl, but I had to hit the road so I can grow. It's Tiale, I make the boys go loud. No fighting in the party. Man, I'm not here to marry. Hey, no party, they let it fire. We dancing to left to left. The DJ, that superstar, refusing to let us rest. Hey, no party, they let it fire. We dancing to left to left. The DJ, that superstar, refusing to let us rest. It's Yale.
Hey girl,
Hey boy,
hey girl,
hey boy, hey boy, hey hey, we dancing to left to left. The DJ, that superstar, refusing to let us rest.
don't check me because I grown up. I'm hustling for my oma. Just open your ear and listen. I hotter than Arizona. Came to play swag up.
Hey,
Certified with the cash up.
oh boy,
Talk about who did what.
so what?
Came to play swag up.
Hey,
Certified with the cash up.
oh
Talk
boy,
about who did what.
so what? 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 Hey, 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 hey. Certified music.
Good morning, ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, men and women. Welcome to Lieutenant Commander J.R. Glapohkpa Chesson talk show. We woke up this morning with expectation of a beautiful weekend. Rise and enjoy yourself. Let my topics come around and I'll go through my topics for this morning so we can start our day's lesson. My topics for this morning are: 1. Was the Alternative National Congress, the ANC, dealt a low blow? 2. Liberians have inalienable responsibilities to one another and Liberia. And 3. Dr. Glenn S. Prescod, Liberian Community Self-Help Vocational Baking School on the Buduburam refugee camp in Ghana. So let me take a coffee break and we'll begin my lesson momentarily. was the ANC dealt a low blow. We know that during the week, the Supreme Court of Liberia rendered its decision in the case that was before the National Election Commission, with the ANC and Musa Bility's Liberty Party, calling themselves the CPP, trying to stop Joseph Boyka's Unity Party from participating in the ongoing or forthcoming election in Lofa County and the general elections next year. This case will not resolve at the ANC because there were constitutional issues and it was forwarded to the Supreme Court. Now we learn from Front Page Africa that the Supreme Court has decided that the case against the Unity Party is unconstitutional. That parties cannot make agreements to impact the election as a group, nor can they stop each other from participating based on contractual agreements. So in reality, although Front Page Africa did not go into detail about the crux of the court's rationale, but the final decision was that it was unconstitutional. And thus, the Unity Party has the opportunity now to participate in the ongoing Lofa County senatorial election as well as the forthcoming general election. Some people felt that Ella Cummings' ANC, especially, which is now the CPP with Musa Bility's Liberty Party, was dealt a low blow. They felt that with this ongoing situation, this decision of the Supreme Court, the ongoing case in the lower court trying to prevent Ella Cummings' ANC from participating in the ongoing election and trying to disparage his personal image and derail his professional life are all farces. They are not geared toward any good intention for our nation nor for our people. And what is happening to Ella Cummings is sad, despicable, and cannot continue to persist if we must have a wholesome, functioning Liberian society. If we must have an electoral process that is free and fair, then our legal system must be viable enough to lay down the rules of law fairly, impartially, and without delay. Look at the case in the lower court right now. It's a mockery of our court system. A misdemeanor case going on for so long, being postponed, suspended, delayed. Justice delayed is justice denied. And if we're making a mockery of our court system, both the higher court and the lower court systems, what can we expect for the common citizens when the elites in our society cannot demonstrate that we are a wholesome, functioning society, cannot demonstrate that we are a society of profound legal prominence, and rule of law. What can we expect for the future? What can we expect for the future of our nation and people? I'm not interjecting myself into this matter. I'm just standing from the outside and looking in. Because if the court, Supreme Court, decided that this case is unconstitutional, then the court must lay down laws, the foundation for constitutional relationship between peoples and parties and our relationship, because that was a part of this case, the contractual relationship between the parties of the CPP. So right there is a problem. If the court is trying to say that it is unconstitutional for parties to make agreements on how they should vote or how they should participate in electoral processes in Liberia, they cannot form any agreements to impugn the rights of the parties to participate in free and fair elections. They cannot make agreements to direct their votes or direct their participatory agreements or participatory functions as parties who want to come together and form collaborations or coalitions. So their contractual agreements do not matter during election time. So whatever agreement they make to come together, the court will not honor it. So the court did not address the contractual aspect of this party, of this coalition, because if it is unconstitutional for parties to agree on how they're going to participate in the election process, then the court can lay down the foundation of contractual agreements between parties vying for election. If it is null and void at initio, then what do we have to say about the contractual aspect of it? So when parties come together, they can't form no agreement on how to vote or how they expect to participate as coalitions or as affiliates or partners. What is the court trying to say? That they can't form no agreement at all that deals with voting? Because we want to know if we're going to have collaboration and concessions, agreements, or whatever it is. I don't want to, what other word I'm thinking about? Collaboration and coalition of these political parties coming together. They can't come together without agreement. There have to be agreements. So if they make agreements, these agreements cannot border along any punitive measures if these parties violate the agreement that borders upon the election. Like in the case of the Unity Party and CPP and all that. So you want to say these parties cannot come together and say, if you violate this thing, you will be barred from participating in any election using our name or any name of the party. So if they can't do that, then the court has to lay the foundation for contractual agreement between these coalitions. So what they're saying is that when you join a coalition, you can make any agreement except when it comes to voting or how the party will vote. They could need to explain that. They really need to explain that, because if we come together to form a coalition, there must be some binding force that will encourage us to want to come together in spite of the dishonest situation in our society. Look at the Liberian society. Our society is a dishonest society. It's a deceitful society. People do not abide by agreements. Or we have a history of people violating contractual agreements. So that's my only beef on it. If the court is going to say that, oh, this contract, you can't make contract agreement that relates to people's voting rights or will restrain people's voting rights as a party, not as individuals, but as a party, as a group. So we just want to be clear on these things because a group's right, is it the same as an individual right to vote? Because if they're not restraining the individual's rights, they are restraining the party from using the name to participate in the electoral process. It has nothing to do with the individual right to vote. So did the court make a clarification between these? Because we want to know all these things. And the court, the front page, Africa did not give us enough insight into the court's rationale based on the contractual agreement between these two parties. Because if we cannot make agreement to form coalition, if we cannot make agreement to form groups that come together with special interests for elections, making agreement that people cannot use the party name if they violate our agreement to participate in the election, is that the same as individual rights under the Constitution? Is that the same? Is the party rights the same as an individual rights? Are we supposed to protect our constitutional rules when it comes to making agreements, contractual agreements? In spite of the fact that it is on political basis or not, when we come into contract and when we make contracts stating of how we should participate in our electoral processes that do not infringe upon individual rights to vote. Did the court distinguish between those? These are things that we need to know, because then the court is saying we can't form coalition. We can't form collaboration to vote. Because what is the basis of forming a collaboration or coalition to vote if there can be no punitive measures against parties that are not sincere, are not truthful, or do not want to live up to the agreement? Your word is your bond. That's why we have contractual agreement. And the court has to address this aspect too. Because you can't just say it's null and void, because our contract, the right to vote, is an individual right. It's an individual right. The party has nothing to do with that. So if the party is prohibited from using its name, what does that have to do with the individual rights to vote? How does that impact the individual right to vote? We want to know. We just want to know. I want to know. I'm not saying the Supreme Court decision is wrong or right. I'm just saying the Supreme Court needs to give us more insight into its rationale, especially based on the differentiation between a party's right and the individual's right to vote. Are they the same? When a party makes an agreement to abide by certain rules and violate that rule, and it is barred by its own rules from participating in the electoral process, does that relate to the individual's right to vote? Does the agreement of the parties become null and void based on individuals' right to vote or the party's right to participate in the electoral process. We need more answers. We need more answers on the contractual agreement between these parties. So the court is trying to say that these parties cannot engage in contractual agreement for the election coming up. They cannot put punitive measures to stop each other from voting or from participating as parties under the names because of the individual rights, rules in our constitution. We need more answers. We need more answers. Because people are not pleased. You're dragging coming through the lower court, then in the higher court, we're denying the rights, his constitutional rights. We need more explanation. We're not saying that the court is wrong. We're just saying the court needs to explain to us more why it just saying it's unconstitutional, why it's not touching on the contractual agreement between these parties. We need more explanation as to why the parties' rights are being considered as individual rights. When the parties get into agreement, not as individuals, but as parties, and they must live up to their agreements. Where do our constitutional law come in with regard to upholding contractual agreements between parties who are not individuals and are not to benefit from the individual laws and privileges of our citizens? I just want more explanation, that's all. Oh, I'm sorry for the spelling of this W in my name. I don't know what this, every time I try to check it out, I'm sorry for the misspelling. But I just want more explanation from the courts. Okay, especially with contractual relationship between these parties, because with this now, the court is saying that we can't enter into no coalition with punitive measures taken against each other to prevent people from being deceitful, from being liars, treacherous. If there are no measures in the agreement to stop people from being deceitful, then these agreements for forming coalitions and collaborations are weak. They have no real enforcement measures against violators of their own agreement. So that's where I stand on that. I don't want to get too much into that. Let me take a cover break. Then I will start on my second topic. Okay. Liberians have responsibilities to each other. Not only because we are a nation, but because we are a people that fought for a home from slavery, from enslavement, from wickedness, from evils of our white brothers. We fought and died. We pleaded and eventually were given permission to find a homeland in our mother's land of Africa, our father's land of Africa. Africa is not our mother's land. Africa is my father's land. It's not my mother's land. It's my father's land. That's where my father is from too. So with us being people from enslavement. When Liberia was founded as a melting pot for all peoples. Not only the people coming from America, they were recaptured slaves, people who were captured from ships coming from Congo, Middle Africa, Eastern Africa, coming along the Mediterranean seas to go to Europe and the New World. And they were stopped because the British had passed law to stop slavery. So all the British ships were on the seas there, catching all the slave ships. And they had no place to bring them but Liberia because that was the land that was already designated for free American slaves. So they just brought all of us to this land. We are a melting pot of Negro people. If Liberia fails, the Negro race fails. Black people in America are not Negroes. They do not identify with Negroes. They are Negro race, but they are not. Many of them do not identify with Africa. They have their issues. They have their societal problems, which are quite different than ours in Africa. Liberia is significant in Africa because we are the only nation in Africa that has consanguineal links to Black Americans in the mass. Blood links, relatives. We are relatives to Black Americans through blood, not through, hey, brother, yeah, brother, we are one, yeah. No, not through that. Through real blood. We are related to African Americans in mass. The masses of our people that came to Liberia are related to African Americans through the bloodline, related to white people through the bloodline. So we are unique. We got to fight to be white people. We got to fight to be Black people. We are a mix of all peoples of the world, right in Liberia there. Black people, white people. But we're the majority Black because we are an enslaved people. And one of the foundational principles of enslaved people is that we are responsible for each other. We are responsible for our safety and well-being. We are responsible for our progress and advancement. We are responsible for our health and safety. And we are responsible to teach the Christian principles of Jesus Christ. That's a legacy. That's a legacy of Liberian people. Yes, we can have Muslims among us. We can have animists. We can have Buddhists. But the mainstream Liberian society, we come from the crux of Christianity. We come from the crux of brotherhood. We come from the crux of understanding our responsibilities that are inalienable to each other. We lost that over the years because of greed, because some people felt that they deserve more from Liberia than other Liberians. And this is where we must crush that philosophy. It's a failed philosophy. Liberia is for all of us. And we cannot continue on this trend that we are on today. Because the way our society is going is because of our past. Our leaders and people stay acting that we're fighting the Congo people. No Congo people leading our country today. Today is all of us. No indigenous people leading our country today. It's all of us. We either come together and lead our country the right way, or we let these bamboozle criminals and bastard rogues continue to take over our country and think that they're leading us the right way when they're leading us down the shithole. Enough is enough. All of us have suffered too much to see these ignoramuses leading our country and stealing our money and raping our children and destroying our infrastructure like they know what they're doing. Enough is enough, my people. We can love all these people all we want, but we know these people are not the right leaders for our country. We know that we need new leaders, a new breed of leadership in our country. I'm not talking about the Borka. I'm not talking about Mo Ali and all the other useless people who were under Ellen Johnson selling and stole our money. I'm not talking about and the communists and the other people who can't even make agreement and stick to it, like men and women. No, I'm talking about the new breed of Liberian people. The new breed of Liberian people who are patriots above all these useless people leading our country today. The new breed of people who understand what it means to want to build a great nation and a great people. We don't need all these useless people, the new race, all these people leading our country, all these useless people. We don't need them. It's time for us to punish them. It's time for us to pull all of them down from our leadership and put them in jail. We're tired of these people. These people have been leading our country forever. And look where our country is. We can't even go from Monrovia to Maryland County. Under Attorney Commander Chesson, in 3 years, the roads will be paved from Monrovia to Grand Bassa County, to Nima County, to Maryland County, to Sano County, to Grand Gila County. So help me God. I don't bullshit. You can see from my school on the Buduburam camp. The proof is in the pudding. I just don't know who to trust in my country no more. The people in my country are like childish, useless people, without direction. They're fighting among themselves. The laws are being used to crush other people and uplift other people impartially. No, our laws are being used in partiality, in partial ways, not because Lady Justice is blind. In Liberia, Lady Justice can see, and she knows who to dispense justice to and who to take justice away from. No, that's not the kind of justice we want in our country. We want impartial justice. We want impartial rule of law. We want a system that will function for all of us. And in order for that to happen, some of the people in our country gotta go, man. The old order, we gotta change it. Is Elliot Cummings the answer? I don't know. Because Elliot Cummings been in Liberia all these years too. Being enjoying the same fruits of Ellen Johnson's selling corruption. So who can we turn to? Who can we look to raise the consciousness of our people, to raise the standards for our nation? Can Joseph Boca do it? Maybe that's the only hope we got right now. So, if Liberian people choose right. But as it is right now, we have a responsibility to each other. And our system in our country is not running effectively. What's going on in Liberia is a sham. And it must stop. so that we can determine who we want to vote for in 2023. People cannot play with our electoral process. This court case that go on with Elder Cummings is a sham, making our court system weak. They don't know whether to delay it, postpone it, suspend it. They don't know what to do with the case. The judge sick, Elder Cummings won't go away, the other man won't travel. This one case is not right. It's not right. We are the masters of our own fate. We are the captains of our own destiny. The way these people behaving in Liberia, they will destroy the hopes for our future and our children. We can't go on with these people. Our country needs to be overhauled. Our country needs to be overhauled. It's not right. I can't tell you what to do. But no election can save our country. Our leaders are inherently corrupt. Our leaders are inherently terrible and evil. Our leaders must be punished. The leaders in Liberia today must be punished. Every one of them. They have destroyed our system of leadership. They have destroyed our system of civilization. They have destroyed our system of governance. If you leave with me, all of them will be punished. All of them. Every one of them will be punished. Because I see no hope for my country. Whether we leave the AP, UP, AP, AS, KS, TP, 2P, whatever you leave there. I see no hope for my country. But I stand with my people wherever you stand. I'll ride with you. I've always done that. I will ride with you because the will of the people will prevail. Even if the people blind and cannot see and leading them away self off the cliff all the time. Who stand and watch? Who can only advise and stand and watch? But as I see it, our country is in trouble. Our country is in serious, serious trouble. And only the grace of Jesus Christ can help us. The time of the Liberian people is now. Aluta continua. Let me take a break. Then I'll be back here. Oh, Lord. I did my show for today, but I recorded it on this. Let me just bring it up from Canva because I downloaded it and all, but I downloaded it on and left it on and recorded it on I recorded it on this media. I recorded it on this media. So right now I gotta go in and get it. So please bear with me as I go and get my show because I can't use this media now because I'm already on it. I should have downloaded my show. I didn't do that. Now my show is the final part of my show is already downloaded. I gotta get it off this program. Please hold on with me. That's about my people in the Buduburam camp. G644. It will soon be on. I'm going into Yahoo to get them. Let me just get them. I thought about it before I started my show and forgot to get it out. So let me just go into this and just. Okay, I'm already into this now. Let me just bring my show up. Please bear with me, folks. I'm sorry. You can hear, right? Okay, let me go in and bring it in. Gosh. I'm sorry for the inconvenience, folks. I'm sorry. I'm ready. Sorry. I'm sorry. Well, yeah, let me bring my show on. This is my final show for the evening. So let me share the screen. Okay, here we go.
So now we are measuring 1 pound and a half, which is 3 cups of Maggi. Exactly. So it's 3 cups, 3 of the cups is equal to 1 pound and a half. We have 8 ounces. So we are done with our Maggi.
Hi,
How are you?
I'm good. And you?
Let's go. So then down one morning, I experienced with them.
We go. We are born 1 month. Everything is okay.
Your name, please. Sorry, your name. Your name.
Naomi go.
Yes. What's the school name?
Dr. Glenn. My school name is Dr. Glenn. South.
Okay, no problem.
Yes.
Okay. How far the experience in the school that you explain to what people hear you?
Feeling good. Feeling good so much. Everything's going on smooth.
Okay.
Yes.
Okay, please excuse me. Hello. What's your name? Yeah. Come again. Yes, go your name now. What's your name? Okay. How far you been to school? 1 year, 1 month. Okay. No problem. Yeah. Hello. Hello. Yeah. Good morning. Beauty or not, I want to see you both. When you go down. Yes. What's your name? Yeah. Yeah. What experience get to school now? The learn our one more now. What experience get there? Are you going? Yes. Are the teaching working? Is the morning session right? What's the school name? Wow. Okay. No problem. Good morning.
Morning.
Yeah, what's your name?
My name is Evelyn Glenn.
Yes. What's your school name, please?
My school name is Chesson.
No, Dr. Glenn.
Dr. Glenn Chesson.
No, Dr. Glenn Prescod.
Dr. Glenn
Yeah.
Prescod
Yeah.
Chesson.
Sorry. Okay. Good morning. Yes. Yeah. What's the name now? Yes. Yes. I'll answer you. What experience get in school now? Yeah. 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 Okay. What are you making today? Wow, rocket. Hey, look at it.
I don't know if I'm going to know how it looks like.
Okay. Okay, next to you. What's the name?
He is having it.
Yes, what's the school name, please? Okay. All right. What experience in the school? One more now. Yeah. Are you learning? Well, what are you feeling today? Okay, that's good. Okay, next to you. Yeah. What's the name, please, bro? Yeah. Yes. The president is money section, right? Yeah. Yeah. What do you doing today? What do you baking today? Are you looking there? Like real cake or like the donut or what?
It's quite different.
Yeah.
I don't see it.
Yeah.
But you know how very
Like birthday cake or like.
no.
Okay.
This one is like but it's different.
Okay. All right. Okay. Next to you. What's there? Okay. All right. You see?
Come here. Come.
Mr. Peno? Good morning. See Mr. Peno? What are you doing today, Mr. Peno?
Oh, today we begin.
Wow. Is it working right? Wow, that's good.
You see me there?
Yeah.
They're not positioned.
Okay.
So they're going to see.
Well, thanks for watching, ladies and gentlemen. That's our show on our people on the Buduburam refugee camp. So these people are really trying to put their lives together, trying to make some positive changes here, and they need your help. So please send us your support. We need it to make their lives better. You can see right now, their lives have already changed. Our people are getting this sense of working together, this sense of learning, and this sense of seeing the results of their hard work. And we need your help. We need your financial support to continue this good work that we've started. So please join us. Don't hesitate. Don't feel you're a stranger. And be a part of the Friends of Rodney Chesson in the Buduburam refugee camp in Ghana. Support Dr. Glenn S. Prescod, Liberian Community Self-Help Vocational Baking School. The time of the Liberian people working, living, and striving together is now. Rise, O patriots. I must say goodbye to you now, and until next week, I'm out.